All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for attending this morning. Hopefully, you guys are having a great week so far and that you guys are on track with hitting your goals, exceeding your goals for the week. We are going to cover Overcoming Objections Part 2, which is a continuance of last Wednesday's webinar that Megan Bunton and myself conducted. And last week, what we're going to do, last week we covered the basics, but we'll review a little bit of that before we get started into this section. We were hoping that you guys would watch or attend last week's webinar before hopping onto this one, just so that you don't feel lost or confused, as it is a continuance. But in the event that you hadn't gotten around to doing that, but you have time today, right this second, we will do a review for you. So we will go ahead and get started on today's webinar. Now, overcoming objections is something that we will always face in our careers here with Planet Beach. And basically, it's important to remember all of the basics as far as being able to avoid having them in the first place. This way, we can lessen our chances of having to spend all that extra time overcoming objections, because in actuality, about 80% of the time when you're given an objection, about 80% of the time, it's due to the customer not really seeing the value in what it is you're offering. And it's important for you to be able to assess, was it the value as far as the services and the products are concerned, or was it the value as far as the experience I provided and the benefits of the membership itself that I failed to deliver? So it's important to assess those things. So here's a brief overview of what we're going to cover this morning, hoping not to keep you guys for too long, as I know that you guys are in the field and you are in the spas. Many of you are sitting out in your car on the phone because you can't get on the webinar. So I'll try to breeze through this as quickly as possible, but be as informative as possible as well. We're going to review last Wednesday's basic fundamentals of overcoming objections, which was our part 1 training. We're also going to discuss removing the anxiety to increase your closing odds tips. There are some tips in here that we're going to share with you. Knowing when to offer the EFT or the 1 or 2 year paid in full. The financial, we're going to go into more detail than we did last week on overcoming that specific objection. We're also going to cover how we'll be able to do the 1 or 2 year paid in full financial solutions to get that yes to so much money, because I know we all think it, wow, $7.99, whoever in this world will actually be able to give that kind of money over in my spa in Planet Beach. I'm just going to check one thing really quick. I apologize. I see that I have a question here. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste in the chat. I did get a question about how to listen into audio. So I'm going to go ahead right now and chat that to you guys. I apologize. Let's see. Oh, I can't. 605-477-2100. Access code. Okay, so you guys should receive a chat. Well, if you're on this call, then you already are listening to audio. So I had to chat the phone number to call in. I'm sorry. So just to kind of continue with our overview, we're going to talk about commitment in terms when you get that objection, and we're going to go more in detail with that. Cancellation terms being what scares people off. Comparable alternatives to canceling that remove their fear of commitment. We're going to discuss talking to spouse, automatic billing, second sale, and thank you letters and follow-up calls as well. We'll just tap into that a little bit because this is not a retention webinar training. However, it's important when you have EFT increase goals in place for your spa to have your staff understand that they can work smarter, not harder, by duplicating their efforts in when they actually overcome that objection, they get the yes. How can you double your efforts to hitting that EFT increase goal by just simply finishing off one specific individual membership sale? So to review last Wednesday, what we covered in Overcoming Objections Part 1 are these topics that you see here on your screen, which are, is your staff capable, first and foremost? All this training that you guys are getting right now may or may not help or be sufficient if you take this back to a team of people that will not implement it based on the fact that they're not trainable. Our "you can't fix stupid" line, that was something that is age old that we use currently, and that being personality traits, incapable of learning, or not sold themselves on following protocols and processes. Don't burn yourselves out as leaders. Don't burn yourselves out as the person training if you constantly repeat yourself and constantly try to train on these things and they're not absorbing to those individuals. So are they skilled in understanding their role and how to scan, basically like scanning a consumer's personality, molding themselves to showcase the value to that specific personality type? In other words, am I an intellectual enough person and skilled enough in my field of prospecting, of closing memberships, of understanding my opponent, quote unquote, to be able to say clearly this person cares more about saving money than they do about getting the red carpet treatment. So I'm going to talk that language. Are they skilled and able to do that? Assess that team. Write out a list of the consultants that you know for a fact may or may not be, or have a question mark over their head, right? I don't know if they are. They possibly fall in this number. Write their names down to be able to go and meet with them one-on-one later to be able to better assess that. The 3 types of consumers with different program pitch offers. We discussed you won't pitch a membership the same to that college girl that's coming in looking to get some results and pay minimum price for that because maybe they're a part-time waitress or server somewhere. They can't afford specific $89 a month memberships, $79, $69, $59. They can't afford that. So I'm obviously going to understand that my pitch and my tour and every way that I speak and discuss the features and benefits of all the things I'm going to talk to, it's going to be very, very different to the way I'm going to talk to that more intellectual, sophisticated lady who wants the red carpet treatment. Therefore, price point probably would be the last thing that I discuss after I highlight how I'm going to pamper her. And it's going to be easier to close versus talking to that college girl saying, I want to get you the best. I want to get you set up in the best program here where you pay the least amount of money that's the most convenient for you. That's the talk that I'm going to have with that person. So we discussed those 3 types of consumers. And in the event that you don't know what that is, it is on your screen. If you aren't looking at the screen, it's that walk-in with no offer. It's that walk-in with an offer. Maybe they didn't plan to come in there. You didn't plan for them. You're caught off guard, but they have something that they want to redeem. And then there is the red appointment. The red appointment that you physically go out, bring in, book on the books. Everybody has something you can buy back, and I hope that you're writing that down because that's key. If somebody even walks in without an offer, in my pitch, depending on the consumer type and my goals that I need to hit, whether I need to focus on memcash allocation or not, I'm going to say, you know what, you came in here without anything. I'm going to treat you as if you came in with a VIP guest pass, which is valued at $117 or $100, make it your own and say, what I want to do is, as an added experience, they think that you're hooking them up and that you don't want to take their money. I don't want this to be a reason you don't become a member with us today. I'm going to go ahead and buy back something you didn't even pay for, and I'm going to put that towards getting you started on this because I know you're going to love it. I see how bad you want this, and I'm here to help you. That's when you go from being a spa consultant to what I like to call a scenario consultant. And that's important that you have staff capable of being able to do so. Remember that there's always a quote-unquote campaign going on that you can extend their free trial a few days a week. Humans are creatures of habit, remember. So getting them addicted to repitch later where they just absolutely can't say no to you, that's a staff skill set example again. This is important. When someone comes in and your offer is a free day of spa, the best way to increase your chances of not losing the opportunity to be able to close a membership sale, and you know that you've had those moments where it's like they were on the fence, I just couldn't get them to do it. Always, always, always never just let them walk out. If you can't sell them something, which is something we discussed as well last week, selling them something means you're buying time from them versus them buying a membership from you. In other words, they buy a session, they buy 10 sessions, they buy a paid in full package, whether it's a 1 or 3 month. That's time actually you're buying to be able to work them. If they don't buy something, say, you know what, end of the day, this is a brand awareness campaign. You always have something going on, right? You might have recently just gotten a service. You might have new management. You might have just re-imaged. Because we're doing this and we want the word out there that things have changed over here, we're able to go ahead and extend what you did today for a week membership. Never let anybody walk out without something, even if you didn't sell them something. Give them some extra time to come back and use services. And as always, duplicate efforts. The number one missed opportunity there to be able to get red appointments is saying, and this time when you come back, I want to go ahead and pencil in somebody to be able to come in with you to enjoy some spa services as well, we'll go ahead and duplicate that offer. So who do you want to give a week membership to as well to come in and enjoy these services? That's duplicating your Reds efforts, and that's you don't have to go out and pull people in and hand gas passes out to get that. So that's just a review of what we did last week and going into a little bit more detail of that. Remembering to always begin your questions to uncover true objections with, I don't want such and such reason to be why you don't join with us today. That is the best transition sentence that we have out there. There's really only one objection based on the fact that it's not medical or they're moving to an area that without a Planet Beach. The customer just doesn't see enough value. So it's important to remember that and keep showing them the value and keep asking those questions and showcasing value where they see or where they've communicated that it's important at. Did I cover the fact that they have guest privileges? Did I cover that they can have this one-time transfer or freeze or downgrade? Oh, maybe it's not the membership benefits itself that they're concerned about. Maybe it's they don't think they'll use the services enough. Well, maybe I need to go back and showcase the fact that hydration stations, not just skincare, that's relaxation and it's weight management, so they can kill 3 birds, 1 stone. Do I need to make sure I showcase that value? So that's all, guys, tying into staff skill set. It's not a failure, like we mentioned, if they sell them something because you're buying time. And remember to always upsell sessions. If they say, give me 1, well, you know what, we're BOGOing. If you buy 3 or 4, then we're matching it. You know, something to that effect to increase your membership cash sales and knowing when to do that. Now we're going to go into the nitty-gritty of actual overcoming objections in the second part. Here's some of those tips that we discussed earlier when we mentioned the overview. 9 times out of 10, you can't overcome an objection currently because it's not what you're saying to them, it's how you're saying it, and it's how you're making them feel about it. For example, when you remove the anxiety and increase your closing odds and commissions before the objection hits, removing the anxiety is the key words here. If people are not becoming members because it is commitment reasons or it's just too much of an investment to make, it's important, and we keep saying, okay, you keep saying ask questions, ask questions. Well, I'm not necessarily going to be a fool and sell the monthly membership dues when that's not the case. If it's financial, I'm going to go after finding out, is it today that's freaking you out or is it the monthly dues? That's when I'm going to know what exactly to do because I'm ultimately trying to get an increase to my net EFT. So I'm going to focus mainly on dropping this price point down today for them to get started. So a couple of tips here. What we want to do is avoid splitting up that enrollment fee and first month up front in your pitch if you can. A couple of tips that our top spas have shared with us before is right now what we're saying is it's $99 today to get you started, and they're prorating that first month based on the fact that maybe it's the 16th of the month and you don't want to collect that full first month up front. So instantly you're giving them materials to dissect. You're giving them an opportunity to take that and try to negotiate with you because consumers are very smart. They're not stupid and they know that you need their business ultimately. That's whenever they work your staff and they work them down to, well, I'm just not going to get it because I don't want to spend $99 today. Knowing you're going to come back with that because you've probably been open and operating long enough to where word of mouth has told this person, oh, my friend said all she said was this, and they worked them down and got them to waive that enrollment. So I'm going to say this because they'll do it for me because they need my business. So what this is doing here is you're avoiding by combining the enrollment fee in your first month in full up front by saying if you want a $59 membership, instead of saying $99 today and because it's the 16th, it's only $27. So totally, collectively it's X amount of dollars. Don't give them the opportunity and say to get started today, it's 100, well, not 100, you want to say 158. That's it. It's only $158 today to get set up. It's $59 a month hereafter. What you're doing is you're collecting a full month, even though it is the 16th. We know most case scenarios, when people cancel, you're not collecting that cancellation fee. So a lot of people like to look at that as I'm going to collect the full month, even though it's not a full month, because chances of this person, either saying they don't want to pay a cancellation fee or just changing their credit card number, at least I'm allocating those funds in advance to protect myself in the event that worst case scenario happens. So $158 to get you set up, and it's $59 a month. If they get a financial objection at that point, then you can work in your point of sale, work down that $158 to say, okay, well then here's what we'll do. We'll split this up for you. Today it would be X amount of dollars. You mentioned next week you get paid, so we can go ahead and handle the rest of that next week, which goes into what my next thing was going to be about. Don't forget, many of us go straight into waiving enrollment fees. I'm sorry. Remember, you don't have to go straight into that if you're just trying to get them to join that day. If they tell you they just went to the grocery store, they just went to the mall and dropped a ton of money, they didn't expect to drop, and they didn't expect to love your services so much and become a member with you that day when they had that free pass, well, then don't forget that you have that option to break up that initial enrollment. So if it's 158 today, or if you do the pitch of 99 enrollment and you do the pro rate and you're sticking to that, then you know what? If the 99 today and the $27 up front collectively adding up to be whatever, if that's what it is, I definitely don't want that to be a reason that you don't join with us today. So why don't we do this? Why don't we get half today and just knock that out so that way we can at least get you started and get this get started special rate reserved in your name today before that rate changes. We'll get you set up with that. And Friday, you said you get paid on Friday. Is it okay that we can go ahead and just take care of that balance then? And then usually when they see that you're working with them in that way, they're more inclined to say yes versus you going straight into waiving the enrollment fee. Because they see you're just trying to get them set up and you're just trying to hook them up on a good deal versus take their money. When you go straight to waiving an enrollment fee, they're seeing desperation out of you and they're only a number to you. That's how you are perceived. So consider that. You don't want to be the car salesman here. Remember the power of your tone and mannerisms. This is a skill set that you guys need to make sure you assess for your team. The power of your tone and mannerisms ties directly into if you've gotten membership sales training, the power words, the good ones and the bad ones, remembering to say, let's get you checked in, not let's sign in on guest register. Those examples is the same situation and scenario that we're talking about here. It's only $100 to get you started on the program, and beginning on the 1st, it's only $59 a month. That's unheard of savings right now. Remember how you say that, Oh my gosh, Miss Mary, yeah, it's only this and it's only that, and you won't have to worry about anything until the 1st of next month. That is an amazing deal. Everybody coming in right now is jumping on this. Saying it that way versus this is what it is, that's what it is, let's go ahead and get you set up. It's completely different, and it's amazing how just one simple tone and one simple mannerism can make or break or make that entire membership sale happen or not. So remember that. Remove that anxiety with the elements you can control. And the elements that you can control are your staff, are yourselves, are your approaches, how you're saying it, the way that you're saying it to them, your body language. Those are elements and variables you can control. Price points you cannot. So remember that when you're training your team. Life experience and testimonials, guys, are usually 90% most effective way of overcoming an objection. Remembering to say things that we just mentioned. Most of our members, or most of the customers coming in, taking advantage of this opportunity to use services, they are jumping on this opportunity because we definitely don't know when this Get Started Special ends. They don't want to miss out, and they found that to be the best thing that they've done so far because in conjunction with using this and going to the gym 3 days a week, they have even told us, oh my gosh, Danielle, I have lost so much more weight. I'm noticing the inches being gone. I'm working out, I'm eating right, and I'm noticing that I'm seeing the inches fall off. Whereas before, it was doubling my efforts. I've had to go to the gym 3 times as much. I've had to pay more attention I never got to indulge in a dessert after a dinner somewhere, whereas now I can because I could just jump into Hotbox. I can jump into Slim Capsule, whatever the case might be. Because what you're doing there is you're telling them other people are doing it too. You're not just saying, take my word for it, because at the end of the day, they're questioning still, are you just trying to sell me on something or do you really care? Choosing your words wisely, negative power words, stay away from it. Remember, write this down. When you are doing any tour, when you are trying to allocate a lead, when you are trying to retain a member, all of those cases, take off those Planet Beach caps and be a consumer. Would you bite on the pitch you just gave me? Would you be sold on how you just pitched it to me? Would you have bought it from yourself? So remember, always with the little tips. If I'm going into something saying, okay, so based on your personal spa profile, we have our Beauty Angel Red Light Therapy. We also have Hotbox Detox because skincare and weight management. Whoa, what is that? Remember, consumers have no idea the names of your services. So that's a quick tip to remember to choose your words wisely. They're a consumer. Dumb yourself down and keep it simple, stupid, because consumers don't know yet. So kicking it off with saying we have skin enhancement and improvement services, and that is called our Beauty Angel. This is our red light therapy, blah, 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 blah. And then we have our detox program, which burns calories. You also get to improve joint health. You're burning so many calories per session. This is what happens. It's this much, and it's called our hot box detox. Flip-flopping it like that, because when they're confused up front, they'll say no later because you already lost their attention because you've been babbling for a while about these services. So decrease the chances of the pushback by just changing that something simple like that up. What's not okay? Here's some bad power words you want to steer away from. How long is this membership? It's a 24-month contract, or a 2-year contract. No, you don't want to say 2 years, say 24 months. That's actually even better than saying 2 years. Although it's the same thing, it's a different type of impact with the power words itself. Avoid saying we draft your account. It's an easy pay program. It's a convenient pay program where you don't have to remember to come in. If you'd rather it not touch your account, no worries. All we want to do is use this to save the membership itself under your name in here so you don't miss out on this great price point. You're more than welcome to call us or come with a different credit card, come in with cash, come in with a check if you don't want it touching this account. This is strictly to save it under your name. Things to that nature. Remember, and this is just a tip for you guys, there's only one EFT program that you offer. We're going to discuss in detail later on, but remembering that will help you from having to drop close to $39 a month memberships or $19 a month memberships, which should only happen when you're trying to save a cancellation. So I want to talk to you guys, managers on the call, franchisees who are managing a manager, just hired a manager. Here's a tip. It's important to know when to offer that 1 to 2 year paid in full. It's a key management skill that only managers who are informed of your spa's expenses acquire. It's another reason why it's important every month to communicate this with your team leaders. If you don't have a spa director, but you have a commander in charge, whatever the case might be, they must know what you spend, what your overhead is for reasons like this, something as simple as a membership sale. Why is it important? Because let's think about it. After major bills you pay, after you didn't expect that service to go down, an electrician came out and they charged you an arm and a leg and probably overcharged you, which they usually do. You had to place an unexpected order. After payroll, we know how payroll is. Your membership cash goals are far from being met. You're far away based on the fact that you've reassessed, you had your mid-month. You maybe need to purchase a new piece of equipment because it went down. Whatever the case might be, those things happen. And not everybody, keep in mind, write this down, not everybody is qualified to be an EFT member. You have to qualify these specific customers. And we want quality EFT members. We don't want the person that we're chasing and nickel and diming after. We want quality EFT members. If they aren't quality or if they're not qualified because maybe they're only in town for 6 months, don't get them set up on an EFT. Get membership cash in the door. Get a year to 2 years paid in full. How we do that? Well, let's find out. You get a financial objection. First and foremost, when you hear that's too expensive or, oh, I don't know, that's a lot of money, I can tell you right here, right now, that probably 60 to 70% of the time, not 100% of the time, I'm going to go ahead and say 60 or 70% of the time, it's because you haven't sold them on value. I'm not going to spend that kind of money because I don't see it as being something I cannot live without yet. So drill down. Ask them the questions. Is it the startup cost today? Is it today or is it the monthly like we discussed earlier? Then you'll know where to go from there. Like I said before, don't go straight into drop selling those monthly dues that you stand to get and allocate for up to 24 months, right? Don't take away from that off the bat without being fully educated and knowledgeable of what this person's thinking. Get in their head. Ask yourself these questions. Did you use the pitch sheet yourself? Don't show the pitch sheet to them. If you're doing that, keep it on your clipboard where you can see it. That way it's just something you could use as a reminder to go off of, to check off all those member benefits that's listed in bullets underneath those pitch sheets. But did you use the pitch sheet as your guide to explain all the benefits to the program? What happens most of the time is the customer that is worried about stretching that dollar, yeah, that's great. The services and products I'll definitely get use out of, but you haven't showcased how awesome it is and how convenient it is for me to be a member over just getting sessions. I have guest privileges with the membership. Along with the membership, I get a 20% discount on retail. I can freeze this when I'm not using it. That way, if I do ever change my mind and the prices do go up, I'm locked in and I'm actually reserving this price point to be able to be there for me when I unfreeze. So you freeze it and you don't have to pay the full amount. You could transfer this membership. You can transfer it. You have a one-time transfer to give to a friend if you don't want to use it anymore. That means you're giving them an alternative off the bat before they even ask you what the cancellation details are, right? You're giving them an option to be able to give that away to somebody and gift that price point when, if that other person comes in, when your prices go up, if they ever do, then they'd be paying more. So there's value in that. Not to mention, they are relieved from the 60-day cancellation time frame. So that's the big whiff from there. Are you showcasing all of those things and using those tones and those mannerisms that we just previously discussed? Are you doing that and tying those in to where they feel comfortable, they feel like you are trying to help them, and that you don't want them to miss out on a really great deal? Usually, when you cover all of these things, you don't even get an objection. Did you put on the Ritz during their visit whenever they used your services? Offered the beverage? Are you swelling? Is your staff swelling? Do you even know? Or are they telling you that they are? If you have a low closing percentage and you're not really in your spot most of the time, the best advice that we can give to you is what we gave to you last week, Megan and I. Have your friends and family members that your staff doesn't know go in there with some type of offer, with a guest pass or something, and get feedback from them. Did they even pitch the membership sale? Did they pitch the memberships to you? If they did, what objection did you give them, and how did they overcome it? That way you can find out, well, the little girl was sitting on the couch on her phone, or, that they always say the little girl. I love that. But, oh yeah, the little girl that was working in there was on the phone with her boyfriend when she was telling me to sign in, and she didn't say much to me. She just got me set up and had me sign form. Well, there you go. And in your meeting, you might hear from this little girl, no, I'm doing that. I'm doing this. It doesn't work. So the best case scenario there, if you find yourself in that number, secret shop your own spa. That's going to uncover so many things that you have no idea are happening in there. And you'll find out if they're even asking for the sale in general. But the experience is key, because when you're asking for someone to give you $60 a month of their hard-earned money, you need to remember, if you weren't walking into a spa that you felt was worth $60 a month or even $90 a month if they're titanium, then it ain't going to happen. You're not going to get those members. Did you calculate? Guys, this is so important. For financial objections, the calculator is your best friend. If your staff doesn't have a calculator in that smock pocket or in a pocket somewhere or easily accessible for this part and this portion when they receive a financial objection, then it's probably been affecting your closing percentage this far. But start doing that and having that prepared in advance. That way they can say, you know what, I completely understand what you feel. Most of our members have felt the same way that you do. Like, I don't know, it just seems like another expense. And, I always go over my data, and my phone bill's supposed to be this, but I pay this much a month. It just seems like it's excessive. I don't know that it's a cost I'm ready to accrue at this time. Well, okay, let's talk about this. Go through their day-to-day activities. Break down what it costs per day. We talked about this last week, Megan and I. And have that calculator ready and say, if it's a $59 a month membership, if they're using UV, $60 a month, let's calculate that. There's 31 days or 30 days on average in a month. That's only $3 a day to be able to do this. You spend how much? You were mentioning you go to Starbucks. That's your routine every single morning. Or maybe you have a guilty pleasure of buying a bottle of wine every night or so. That's me. You're talking about the money they're spending now on things that are bad habits. So look at it as you're compensating for those bad habits with detox programs to be able to, compensate for those bad habits you're spending money on currently. And it's broken down only a few bucks a day. And ultimately, let's talk about you don't even have to pay for this. A lot of us forget that we have that ambassador program, and many of us use it every single day. Our top spas know how to effectively use it because they pay attention to how they're presenting it in their tones that they're presenting it in, and usually they're more effective with this. But ambassador isn't, hey, let's talk about how, you can get your membership for free. We have an ambassador program where we have members that will refer people to buy memberships, and when they buy memberships, they get free months. Everything what I just said is wrong. Everything about what I just did there was negative, bad power words. And usually if you find yourself not successful or effective with the ambassador program, it's probably because of that right there. So switch it up a little bit. Miss Mary, I'm so excited to tell you, I just noticed you qualify for our loyalty program, which means that we can give you the ambassador the ambassador rewards, where you ultimately have it where we pay for your membership between up to 1 month to a year to a lifetime. So let's go ahead and get you set up where we can start paying for your membership, since you've been with us for so long, and we want to thank you for that. We appreciate your loyalty. That's a completely different approach that Miss Mary's going to be more prone to listening to you and be more cooperative and giving when it comes to not referrals, recommendations. So, you see on the screen, if you're looking and you're following along, drilling down with questions to uncover which investment is not doable, startup cost solutions from the first to last choice. Remind them, first of all, for these financial reasons, remind them that they receive their product bundle, the monthly campaign. Usually you guys out there are bundling their products and stuff, or there's a weekly campaign that says you get such and such products for free if you pay a full enrollment fee, and if not, they have to pay for their retail, which ultimately costs them more money. But remind them of that, that they get their bundle whenever they sign up. You get it all for just this much. If you purchase these individually, which you're going to need these things, it's going to be almost double, maybe even triple that $99 enrollment fee. So you're just looking to get them set up with the best situation. Offering split payments, like we mentioned before, versus going straight to the waiving of it. A lot of us forget we have that opportunity to collect some membership cash. How you can whiff them your staff. The perfect way to whiff them on that is, what's in it for them? Commission. If you waive enrollment, you're collecting 20% at the point of sale, most of us here, for commissions. That's the structure. You're taking from your own pocket whenever you're waiving these enrollment fees, because you're lessening that dollar amount at the point of sale. So offer the split payment that way, and as long as it's within the same pay period, they can collect more money, ultimately making more money on their paychecks, so they're happier and they're more willing to work for you longer. Offer to buy something back, like we mentioned before. Guys, there is always a buyback opportunity, even if they walk in without an offer. Buy something back that they did not pay for. This is a better opportunity to showcase that you're willing to work with them, like we mentioned before, versus, wow, they're so desperate, they're waiving enrollment fees, they must really need me, I'm just a number. You're perceived as something completely different than just waiving it. And then last case scenario, find out what they can do up front by asking questions that are not too evasive, but for you to uncover what exactly they can do. So they mentioned that they just, oh no, I just spent a lot of money. I didn't make enough, maybe their job, they're in sales. They had a bad month this month, whatever the case might be. Find out by asking questions like, well, you know what? It seems like I've been there. I totally know how you feel. I definitely don't want this to be a reason why you don't join with us today. So I'll tell you what, let's start with this price point and start at a higher price point and then negotiate down until they agree to something. Versus if you don't want to be abrasive and just be like, hey, so how much money you got right now? That's a little bit harsh, and you definitely don't want to be too in their business in the event that they get, weirded out by that. We have a question I just want to take a look at here. Who has a question? Christine Benjamin has a question. Let's see. Can you guys hear? I'm seeing here that we lost audio. Maybe consider try calling in. Let me chat that. You're not listening. It's kind of stupid. If you lost audio, please hang up and dial back in. Sorry about that, you guys. We had some people having technical issues I wanted to handle really quick. So we covered financial. We're going to go into the monthly dues solution from first to last choice. We discussed always go with the most common membership, and we're being more transparent these days, you guys, is $59 a month. That is when people stay the most. That's where people are at. If you are able to pull off the titanium because someone's a traveling nurse, because somebody lives one place, works at another. Remember, every location, every membership is reciprocal, but the most cost-effective membership for them is the $90 a month, because with that $10 reciprocation fee, it's going to add up to be way more. Let's just get you set up in this one. Or the $59. Just remember, first, use the calculator method previously discussed. Breaking down, it's only $2 to $3 a day with the $59 membership. And, based on their personal spa profile, 3 days a week, that's X amount of times that they're going to be using it. You're getting a ton of value. Even just one visit a week would be $156. So you'd be saving them $97 a month if they were to get this easy Easy and convenient, easy pay program membership versus buying it a session at a time like some will say that they want to do. Do yourselves and your commissions a favor. Don't go lower than the silver program. It's actually recommended and almost required that you don't go any lower than the $39 a month silver program because that limited membership is strictly to save a cancellation. So how are we going to get it paid in full? Danielle, yeah. So I'd like to know what you're on to know that you can get $800 from someone coming into Planet Beach. How am I ever going to do that? Well, let's talk about those people who are not qualified EFT members or who simply have those, look, I'm just not comfortable with this automatic billing, whatever the case might be. You can't overcome that. Well, paid in full option for a year. First and foremost, your staff has got to be sold themselves. If you're scared to pitch it, you're in the wrong business, my friends. For times when you need instant cash in the bank due to expenses, or if your focus is on membership cash goal, this is whenever you do offer the paid in full option. The best times to offer these, guys, when people have money. And it's about to be that time of year that people are getting their refunds back from tax season, Black Fridays, holiday seasons, Mother's Day, well, what else is another one? Maybe Father's Day even, because we do have services and we're increasing in our men. We're actually at 35% company-wide average, every location. It's like 35% men in the store. So even Father's Day. The month of March in general, people looking back to get back in shape because why? Spring break, prom, maybe they have senior vacation coming up. Maybe they are getting ready for their vacations and they are currently trying to get tight and get right? So these are all things, all the perfect times to offer the paid in full options because you have an easier chance of getting people to hand over money because they are more desperate, more inclined, and more focused on looking and feeling great. So wanted to share that with you. Member appreciation party days because you're already running promotions on your EFT programs and PIF packages, so you don't have to have anything discounted. Always start high, start with confidence, and showcase value and savings. Going back to I'm sold myself, if you are approaching it confused, scared, shaking, almost not sold on the fact that they're going to be sold, consumers are not stupid. They'll read through it and they will not bite. Always tack on a few extra weeks and months for free. This is going to increase your chances of getting that 1 year or that 6 month versus that 1 month or that 3 month. This is, if you get the year, I'll tack on 4 free months. So ultimately you can get, what is that, 12, 13, 14, 15, that's 16 months of spa. For the price of 12. So, you're looking at that. Calculate it if you must. How much would it be if they got 4 months? $99, $99, $99, $99 on top of what it is for that 1 year. I'm giving you something valued at this for the price of this. If it's a 6 month, tack on 2 months if they get the 6 month, whatever the case might be, but that always sweetens up the deal to get the yes to the paid in full. If need be, offer them comp, or if need be, offer to comp them 1 or 2 of their necessary products to use in their services as an added incentive to buy. Let's look at our cost of goods. If I can get $800 out of somebody, whether I'm breaking it up in 2 installments or not, I will most definitely give you a contour oil, or, I'll definitely give you that aftercare moisturizer if tanning is something you're looking to do, to sort of sweeten up the deal and add incentive and add the value to it. Remove the anxiety by offering them the opportunity to put together that payment plan or encourage them to use a credit card. Let's talk about the credit card situation. Somebody doesn't have even $300 and something of what that is, or $400 that day to even give you half of that. The most I would advise you guys to do, ultimately ask for the full $800. For only $7.99, you could have unlimited access to your services for an entire year. It's regularly $828 because why? Well, it breaks down to be $69 a month, but for today, you can get that for only $7.99. That's not all you get for that price either. All of our other new members who joined us today on that package decided to do so today only. We can tack on 3 additional months absolutely free to that package, along with getting that free gift as purchase. So you're sweetening up the deal. This is a complete value of $11.85 on any given day. I'm willing to offer all of this to you for just $7.99. Good power word there, being just. And not saying $799 seems small, but saying $799 over $799 is a completely different outcome of a sale, believe it or not. That's almost a $400 savings, and that's what I want to do for you, Miss Mary. So what we're doing here is we're throwing it out on the table, and we're not offering to go straight into breaking up those payments yet. What? Yeah, right. I don't have $799 on me. Are you on some type of drug that has not been discovered yet? That's okay, Miss Mary. Actually, most of our members who've signed up with this promo package said the same exact thing you have, and I completely get it. I know, trust me. You have kids that you said you have to put through school, and you have a lot of expenses, and this is that, whatever you need to repeat at that moment. But I'm not sure if you have any actual credit cards on you or not. Now, pay attention. This is a very easy fix that many of our top spas are doing right now to get all that membership cash in. Most of our members now that bought this have found that charging it to a major credit card to finance their package with us through them has been more effective. They're building up their credit as well as raking up on those bonus and rewards points that they have for that specific credit card institution that offers that, frequent flyer miles, cash back, rewards, whatever, Visa, MasterCard has and offers, American Express. So I'm not sure if you have anything like that with you or not, but that seemed to be the most popular answer for them. And we don't report to a third party vendor, right? We don't report to credit bureaus. We don't use collection agencies. So we're also not helping those members that are good, that are on time with their payments. We're not providing an opportunity to report to their credit bureau and help with their credit score, which everybody, with good credit, you can fly around the world these days. So talk about that and say, if you have a major credit card, consider putting it all up front on that and pay off the credit card company. Meanwhile, you're getting all of these bonus rewards from it. And again, go from the top and then work your way down. If they don't have a limit like that, I don't have $800 limit, then that just means you'll just have to break it up from there, Well, yeah, I have a few credit cards, but none with available credit that high. Is there anything cheaper? If not, I can just come back when I get paid or something. When you hear that, that is whenever it's time to come up with another solution. You're no longer a spa consultant at that time. You are a scenario consultant. At that time, you're almost a life coach. Like you need to give them the value that they need to see value in. So, AKA, what does that mean? They're not coming back. So, Miss Mary, the last member that got this right before you came in today, earlier on, was actually in the same scenario as you are. And my manager actually approved me to be able to set them up on a payment schedule. So basically what she did was she did half today and half on her next payday. I'm pretty sure, I'm certain that my boss will do the same for you. If it's okay, I can find out right now. And just because, Miss Mary, I don't want this to be a reason you miss out. If this were any other time, I know you're going to need us in the future. You're going to have that vacation or a wedding. You're going to come back in here. Ultimately, I'm trying to save you that chance of spending some more money ultimately with us versus saving. So, I can't exceed anything, over 3 months, so we can actually break that down to $270 today and then continue on with the negotiation. If you're a consultant or a spa director, the number one most important thing to take away from what I just went through with you is approval. You really do need to get approval. Your franchisee is the one that must approve any type of financial negotiations like that because you don't want to break these payments down into like 6 payments. You may as well have an EFT membership for all that, and you're going to be chasing people that don't have accounts for you to be able to draft. So just remember that. Get an approval process, or if you're a franchisee, put one in place now off the bat and say, if you must, you don't break this up into any more than 3 payments, and so on and so forth. Going into commitment and terms and cancellation policy, again, identifying the real objection is I'm not 100% sold on the value. So Megan and I talked last week about this in a brief little role play. And this week, what I want to do is get you to understand it a little bit better when it comes to what a commitment and term or a cancellation policy is like. This day and age, we live in a generation full of commitment phobes. And we talk about this a couple of times. You might have heard this once or twice, but it's true. We have millennials, we have people hidden behind technology and phones and computers. They don't like actual interaction. And it's very far and few in between that you actually meet people that like commitment. So it's almost like looking and viewing this person coming into your store that you do a whole tour with, you greet them, you feel like you've done everything in the books, and they give you the objection of commitment in terms and cancellation policy. Well, put yourself in their shoes, you guys, and consider it. I'm going to give you a real life experience. You go on a first date with somebody. You find out this person has a lot of benefits. This person has a good job. This person doesn't have a criminal record. You won't find yourself in any type of bad situation in dating them. They seem to have checked out pretty clean when you look them up. Maybe you saw them on Facebook, whatever. They have really good benefits. It's going well. They're talking to you on that date. You're starting to feel this person. And then at the end of the date, you pay the bill and that person proposes to you. Like, let's get married after date one. I mean, who would ever really do that? Maybe there's like one person in the world that might do that. I don't know. I might do it in Vegas for convention. Who knows, you know? But I'm just kidding. But that's similar to what we're doing here. We're offering benefits. We're trying to sell ourselves, if anything. If you don't want the spa treatments, I want you to be able to feel comfortable, like those members that come in now, to just sit there and talk to you because they pay that money. They love the consultants. They're coming in there. So remember that that's how they feel. You hit them with such a long-term commitment. Again, this ties into, are they qualified people to be able to be EFT members? That's important for you to remember. So if they are, but they're just on the fence because they're like, look, I don't know, that's a really long time for me to be in there. Well, did I cover the fact that in our situation, we handle every member individually based on case-by-case scenario? So did you remember to use the I see you answered? You can dedicate about 2 days a week to achieving your goals. You know what? We found out that most of our members come in about twice a week, the same way that you can. If not, use it now at the time of the objection. They need to see that they aren't the only ones that have this specific objection in mind. Like, I don't know, if $60 a month, I may not even use it. Well, most of our members come in this much, and there's a value there, but with the calculator method. Did you remember to talk about the freeze option and wiggle room for the freeze option? Although we say it's 3 months at 20% of your dues, again, we work with every individual member situation. So what that means is, because my spa director, Amy, is the person that physically comes in and presses a button that bills your account, that's the person that you would talk to and say, listen, unfortunately, I'm still having a bad month. Can I extend my freeze another month? Financially, I'm not able to do this. 20% of my dues is still pretty high. Can you work with me on a price point for this freeze? Absolutely. But it's because we're not talking about it at the point of sale, or when we overcome the objection, is when you get the members that try to cancel you later on down the line because they just don't know this information or they forgot this information. Discuss the one-time transfer option off the bat when they freak out about the cancellation policy. Okay, how do I cancel? How do I cancel? First and foremost, how long is this membership? Here's what I'm going to give to you guys, so pay attention. The best way to respond to how long is this membership for, this is a month-to-month convenient easy pay program. This goes month to month at $60 a month, $59 a month if they're not using UV. What we guarantee is we have a 100% guarantee for loyalty program that once you get up to 24 months for this month-to-month program, we actually measure your loyalty based on the amount of visits that you come, how long you've been a member with us, how many times you've frozen with us. So ultimately, it's month-to-month for up to 24 months. When you get to that 24 months, we are calling you saying congratulations, because we can actually cut that price point in half as a thank you. It's called our preferred rate program, and you can ultimately get a lifetime of getting to use unlimited service at only unlimited services here at Planet Beach at only X amount of dollars, so half of whatever the price point is. And so it is a month to month, and in the event that you don't get to cover any of the details on freezing and transferring, and they come out and go, okay, well, what about cancellation? Well, there is always a situation. There is always going to be situations that will be out of your control. We do have a cancellation policy. However, we have alternatives for you. So if you guys follow the 60-day cancellation policy, but you don't necessarily charge $99 to cancel, or you charge a $99 cancellation fee, but you don't make them stay with you, whatever the case might be, whatever you're working out with them, now is the time to bring up, again, because we work with every individual situation, if you're trying to cancel, we're going to find the best, most effective way for you to be able to do so. So to avoid having to stick around, a couple of months, or, to avoid having any hiccups along the way, we would actually work with you to help find someone to take this membership from you at the same price point. And the best part about that is that price point's not always going to be around. Our prices fluctuate all the time, but this reserves this price point at this rate versus our paid in full customers who don't get this luxury. You are reserving yourself a great rate, and you're reserving it month to month. Billing is an issue. Don't worry about it. Come in and pay it with a different method before the first of the month hits, and you're handled. You're taken care of. The only reason we need this information is to save this membership in your name, is for you to be able to actually use these services. So One of the last things that we're going to talk about today is to talk to the spouse. You probably still get a lot of that. I'm surprised we still get that. I didn't know that some people still live in the year 1955. Um, but again, sometimes in the case of I need to talk to my spouse, is usually as a consumer cop out. That's usually when they don't see value as well. So asking the right questions and doing it faster. Take a screenshot of this, you guys, because you'll use this in the future. Doing it faster is a method used by gyms and health clubs that have a 95% success rate in overcoming objections, and I stole it. So with this, when asking the right questions and doing it faster, faster being an acronym, since we just love acronyms here at Planet Beach, faster stands for food, alcohol, supplements, tobacco, entertainment, and recreation. You're basically going and covering all of those things that people spend money on now that is important to them. So if I need to talk to my spouse, but I love the services and I loved everything that you showed me, well, then let's talk about that. Let's break this down and let's go through each one of those. Let's talk about how much you spend each month when you go to buy groceries. Let's talk about the alcohol. People like to always keep their fridge stocked with beer, wine, whatever they have. Supplements, vitamins, that's proteins, things like that, things of that nature to live a healthier and a better wellness type of lifestyle. Tobacco, do they smoke, do they dip, do whatever, have those bad habits as well. Entertainment, how much money do you spend on going out with the girls, going out with taking your family out to dinner. Maybe you have every Thursday night, you and your family go out to eat at a specific restaurant, going to the movies, anything. And recreation falls specifically into that, but are you a part of any softball, beer leagues or things to that nature where you're spending all this money in your life, just life, daily activities, and have this person talk about that they do together and that their husband or their boyfriend or their partner, whoever, does, and break down the cost of that they're spending each month. What you're offering in combat to that is the opportunity to do these things that you're telling me that you love doing, that we can actually help you get set up with using, for less than what you're paying for these things, less than that. And it's actually, for many of the things listed on here, and you're doing it faster, for many of these things listed, like the tobacco or the alcohol or the food, depending on the food, right? It's compensating for what harm you're doing to your body. It's working towards not completely fixing it and just completely saying, oh, I'm using the spa services so I can eat this or smoke this or drink this. So, it's not doing that, but I'm offering to give you something positive in conjunction with that, and it's only $3 a day, if that. And that's with a gold membership. So, and then always remember the shrug off method, aka deaf ear tactic, assuming the sale. Oh, no, you know what? No worries. This is an opportunity to take, guys, and I hope you're paying attention. I want to talk to my spouse. This takes that into a potential losing one member into gaining two. As you see on the screen, you probably got ahead of me. Oh, no worries. We can just add him to the membership, Miss Mary, because after all, you don't have to pay anything extra. So if we get you set up today, it's not going to affect the point of sale at this moment. That price point that I gave you, that $158, won't affect that. It's only going to be half of that $59 a month. So what does that mean? It's like $38.50 or something like that. So it'd only be $38 something a month, the same time that you would start your dues. And you know what? We have our risk-free guarantee, which basically means he's got 30 days, the next 30 days to decide and come in with you and see it for himself, use the services himself. You mentioned that he works wherever, which is a high, fast-paced, stressful, whatever, maybe it's labor work. He's probably going to really enjoy these. He's definitely going to enjoy these massage services and relaxation services while you come in here and do your thing. And you know what? At the end of the day, he says he absolutely hates it. Nope, I don't want it. The worst case scenario is, that's fine. You have 30 days without penalty for us to remove him, but he's going to see by then just how much you love it and how much it's important to you. So if he falls off of this, then so be it. We can accommodate that, but at least he'll know at that time how much it's making your lifestyle healthier. You're enjoying it. He's going to see how important it is to you, so you get to keep it. So we've noticed most of our members do it that way when they have their spouses that they have to consult with. So let's get you started so you don't miss out on this deal, and should something change, we can just cross that bridge when we get there, but let's at least get you set up on this at this time. This is the last case scenario. Offer that same risk-free trial we just discussed about talking to spouse to this person you're having issues overcoming the objection with. It's all too often and common that people see themselves making this investment right then and there. Let's say you're not even telling them it's no money down today, you're just trying to increase your net EFT. Let's forget membership cash. You're letting people sign up today at no money down. That's a great deal. Well, for some reason, psychologically, consumers assume that they are putting in money that day into something. They're making an investment that day, and it's our jobs to make sure they know this is awesome. This is usually $158 to get set up. It's nothing today. Why don't we do this? Let's just do this because I can't let you walk out here. I see how bad you want this. I don't want that to happen. I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. Let's just go ahead and at least get it reserved today with your checking account, right? We're just going to go ahead and put your information in here so that the system, our software, can physically save this for you in our membership, for your membership. And your draft's not going to be until the first of that month. So explain to them they have 30 days to decide. You'll offer that 30-day trial for them as well, without penalty. So just say, let's go ahead, get this reserved in your name. It's not going to cost you a penny today. All I need to do is save your information in your profile, and let's make that determination in 30 days from now to see if this is something you want to continue or not. But let's at least just get this done right now. That right there is the number one. I can't even tell you how many times that we don't think to talk that way or speak that way in that tone, using the right mannerisms and body language. Remember, people don't believe it when we say it. They believe it when they say it themselves. Yes, this is a great deal. So touching into this, because we've already talked about it, we're offering the shrug off option, the deaf ear. Look, the only reason that I need your information is to save this membership. How you want to pay for it is completely up to you. It doesn't have to be where it comes out of your account or touches your account at all. If you cannot overcome that, remember always to offer the PIF option. I'll give you a second to take a screenshot of this in case you want to script for training purposes, or if you want to take a picture of it with your phone because you don't know how to screenshot from a PC. But this is strictly for training purposes only. How you word it does not have to be specific word for word as you see here. But it will help you if you have a training set up on overcoming objections. So go ahead and take a picture of that or screenshot. I have a question. Who is asking me questions? Half is only possible on titanium, Jeff Madison. Actually, that used to be the case, but now with our newer memberships, we are offering that same preferred rate to our gold membership as well. Cancellation is misspelled. Thank you, Jeff Madison. You're a funny guy, Jeff Madison. Okay, so we talked about the automatic billing. But just remember, all in all, these are specific consumer types. We talked about the consumer types. These are the burn victims, bad experience in the credit card fraud or drafted by another membership-based business. These are the ones that need to hear this. We do not report to credit bureaus, collections agencies for billing processes. All done in-house, done by our manager who works with every member situation. Should be their go-to. We have the videos of overcoming objections. Go in Orion, go in Spa Performance folder, and go in membership information folder where the overcoming objections videos are. You can see a video example role play of this, you guys. That is huge because saying it to your staff, explaining it to your staff is one thing, but actually seeing somebody do it, which is probably most likely what they give you pushback on, well, that's actually a different story. They actually see that it is possible to do. Again, there's always a buy it back. Customer walk-in with or without an offer, whatever. There's a campaign, sell them something. What is sell them something? You see at the bottom of your Spot Intel dashboard, that thing that says sell them something with a percentage. That calculates the people you check in as guests who you either do or do not convert them into memberships, into members with. So if you sell them something, that calculation of that percentage is there to show you that you checked in this red appointment, they are now a guest, that guest got a tour, used services, however they did not become a member, but you sold them a few sessions. That gets calculated into your sell them something percentage. So management or managers, if you are falling into that number of, you know what, I'm one of those people where my staff is pitching memberships and only memberships and not offering a more temporary solution to buy time. That's something I need to work on. That's going to be my goal, my focus. That'll be your measuring tool to be able to see if they're doing it by checking that dashboard and seeing that sell them something statistic at the bottom. We talked a little bit about this already. Membership cash is still a revenue category. Don't just walk out. Not a failure if you sell a 1 or 3 month because you're what? Buying time. At any point in this training, did you have an, oh dang it, I definitely could have done that with a customer yesterday or the other day or last week moment? Is that you? Did you find that you could have used some of this stuff, some of this training, some of these tools, ideas? Well, if that is the case, if you answered yes, then here's some things to do in order to be able to go back and to save yourself. Pull your customers that came in from the appointment book, whatever report you need to pull in, or guest register who came in last week, last month, whatever, yesterday, that you know off the top of your head that you missed these opportunities with, and discuss these alternatives that we used here to use tactics to get them back in and signed up. Now you can try your luck with those who visited your spa before who did not become members to try to get them in again and find out why they didn't join the first time around. Do this by pulling guest registers like we mentioned, or the prospect report in Spa Intel from the last 6 months to a year. Prospect reports are not people that have come in, so that's actually the wrong report. It's actually the the appointment book report. And it's also, like I mentioned, the guest registers here to actually measure who came in, who did you discuss, who did you talk to, and just get that information from your consultants as well. Did you have anybody give you these objections that you couldn't overcome? Here's what we're going to try. Managers should call them saying, hi, this is the manager, or franchisee if you don't have a manager. I want to thank you for stopping by my location just last week. Wanted to get your feedback on the spa because we're reimaging, or we just reimaged, or we got this new service, whatever you can use to get that conversation going, so that you can say, well, as a thank you, I would like to extend my gratitude by offering you a 1 week of unlimited spa services, a 1 week membership to that for you and a friend. So with that said, I'd love to be able to have you come back in the spa either today or tomorrow to utilize more of the services that matched up with your personal spa profile. And what is the name of the friend that you would like to bring in, and the phone number of that friend, so this way we can accurately save their information to place into the system to reserve their time frame. That's the only reason we want a phone number, quote unquote, right? Is to be able to create a customer profile. Without that information, I can't do so. So this is just to create a customer profile. I'll reserve the times at the same time that you want to come in. So I'll need that information. I look forward to seeing you when you come in. And also I'll have a little free gift bag for you as well, just as a little extra something as a thank you for coming in. I don't know, put together eye mask or lip balm or something in a little cellophane wrapper and have that for them as a gift also. That's an experience that they definitely will remember when it comes time for you to pitch them again later on in that week and buy back that week that they didn't buy. These are the experiences that they remember when it comes time for them to say yes. They see value now in that $60 a month versus let's get married after a first date. Now, if you would like to get further information, we have trainings. We have those videos that's in the Spa Performance folder in Orion, so you can access that at any time. Feel free to contact us at spaperformance@planetbeach.com. We are here to assist you and guide you, but first I'm going to tell you, I'll leave you with these nuggets. By taking last week and this week's webinars on overcoming objections, you should now understand the theory and the process of why we get objections, how to prevent them before we get them, and you should have ultimately also had a task list in place. What's the first thing I need to do? Well, if you don't remember, your first thing you need to do after you hang up now, or after we end this webinar, is assess your staff. Are they capable? Are they competent? Are they able to even do some of these things that we're talking about doing? You can't fix stupid is a personality trait. Don't try it. Don't try to train untrainable people. You will burn yourself out. If it means that it comes down to you and one other person working in your spa, so be it. But at least you're capable of overcoming objections because you know how to understand and size up your opponent. So those are key things to remember. That needs to be the first thing and then the most important thing that you do. Analyze staff, assess staff, Fix them with the training by using last week's webinar and this week's webinar, along with the cheat sheet that you see in your documents in your control panel of this webinar. I do have a handout there for you to download. It is the cheat sheet guide for you to help you in your training coming up if you have one. And also remember to keep leadership and WIFM involved in this. Always remembering to tell your team anytime that they have somebody coming in to do a tour, remember 20% of point of sale, so don't hack down on that enrollment. You can collect it. Be sold yourself. Is there anything that you can do prior to them actually having that tour with that person? What are the questions? And see that notes section at the bottom of that personal spa profile? Guys, that notes section is key. Write down things that you think you'll forget. This person owns a business. This person works out at this gym. That's going to be a B2B opportunity for me later, right? This person does this. This person is married. This person has how many kids? And you'll utilize that later on down the line. I also want to share something that we uncovered this past weekend during our NOLA Market Rockstar Tour was that personal regime builder that I'd probably venture to say 20% of you on this call is using. Go in, download it, and use that in your 1 day, 1 week, whatever people are coming in utilizing the services with. Use that regime form before their members to assume a sale. When they have something in hand, which is a schedule of when they're coming in, what they're going to use, and what products they need to get, and you leave them, they leave you with that in hand, they're more likely to become members because you're deaf-earing, you're assuming a sale right then and there, you're treating them like a member, and it's almost like the nodding of the head effect and the body language, nodding of the head, and so on and so forth. They're just going with it because you're just telling them that's what they need to do, and to them, you're their personal trainer in that spa. So consider that as an additional tip and tool for you as well to bring back to your staff and implement at the point of the tour. You go over that personal spa profile, they're in there using the service, maybe you're extending them another day or 2 or 3 or a week, whatever the case might be. Put together that personal regime form at that time based on what the information you collected was at that point of doing the personal spa profile and based on what you can buy back later. That's going to be key, and it's just a helpful physical tool for you to be able to close those members. All right, guys, so I'm going to have this recorded. I'm going to have it posted everywhere. We'll put it in the Facebook group. We'll put it on Orion. Your spa performance consultant will blast it out to you guys like as usual. So this will be available for you to go back into and listen in on and watch later if you had to put the phone down. I understand that these things get pretty lengthy. But thank you so much for attending. Hopefully we answered all of your questions and cleared any doubt in your mind up for yourselves on your staff and overcoming objections. Again, any further questions, email spaperformance@planetbeach.com for additional training, questions, concerns, anything, and we will be more than happy to help you out there in providing some additional assistance. So until next Wednesday, or should I say until next Monday for our motivational call, don't forget to be awesome, you guys, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.